The secret meaning of Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur is Hebrew for the Day of Atonement. It was the one day each year in which sin could be paid for, taken away. Leviticus 16. The high priest would carry a bowl of calf's blood into the innermost room in the temple called the Holy of Holies, and he would sprinkle this blood on the sides of this little box which contained the 2 tablets of the 10 Commandments. This little box was called the Ark of the Covenant, A-R-K, Ark. The word covenant refers to the 10 Commandments. Then the high priest would do the same thing with a bowl of goat's blood. He would sprinkle the blood with his finger on all the sides of the ark. Now, why would sprinkling blood on the Ark of the Covenant take away sin, the sin of the nation of Israel, for that year? I don't know. Anyway, I want to explain the hidden meaning of the ritual of Yom Kippur. When I say the ritual, I'm talking about the high priest carrying the bowl of calf's blood and sprinkling it, and then going back and getting this other bowl of goat's blood, sprinkling it on the sides of this little box. The secret meaning of the ritual of Yom Kippur has been kept hidden long enough. Let's start with the term mercy seat, which is the lid of the Ark of the Covenant. The Ark, like I said, was this little box that contained the 2 tablets of stone on which was written the 10 Commandments. The lid was where God sat, supposedly. It was his throne. In Psalms 80, verse 1, and 99, verse 1, it says, God sits enthroned between the 2 cherubs. And they're the little statues. I'll talk about that later. But the name of this de facto throne was mercy seat. Now, the word for mercy in Hebrew is ra-kam. That's Isaiah 14, verse 1. And I'm going by the numbering system in the Strong's Bible Concordance, number 7355. And the same word is used for womb, rechem. The accent has changed to the first syllable, and the vowels are changed from A to E, but the consonants are the same. And that's number 7358 in Strong's Bible Concordance. Now, a mercy seat can be thought of as the womb seat, because, like I say, it's the same word. Womb and mercy are the same. Or you can say the foundation of the womb within this innermost room called Holy of Holies. Now, just like the uterus or womb is the innermost room or section or organ in a woman's body, the Holy of Holies is the innermost room within the temple, and the temple is basically patterned after a woman's body. And, well, for example, the Christian church is called a woman, or a wife of God. And the Jewish temple is a Old Testament version of the church. And so just like the church is thought of as a woman, the Jewish temple was thought of that way. Now, since the temple is the female, the high priest is the male figure. Actually, he represents the male organ of who? Of God. And we have here a male entering female, so it does sound like intercourse. And marital relations. Marital relations. What is the point? Why would God ordain this Yom Kippur ritual to reflect or to convey marital relations? What is the point? Well, God created the world and the universe over billions of years, but then he ordained a 7-day week, and within which is a 6-day work week, and for mankind to imitate God, so to speak. In a similar way, God has ordained a human marriage to mimic or imitate the higher and divine marriage of God and Israel. Well, actually, that is a microcosm of the larger, grander marriage between God and the universe. Now, it says in Isaiah 54, verse 5, quote, "Your maker is your husband." He's talking, the prophet Isaiah is talking to Israel about God as the husband figure. So I throw that in because I wanted to show you that that God was the husband figure and Israel was the bride figure. And on Yom Kippur, which is the holiest day of the year, there was this marital relations ritual. Now, this marriage between God and Israel, you can think of it as a divine archetype. And we need to think of it as predating human marriage. Actually, God's marriage to Israel, like I said earlier, stands for a grander marriage of God united with the universe. That's my opinion. Anyway, in order for Yom Kippur to fully represent fertilization, which takes place in intercourse, there needs to be an ovum figure and a sperm figure. Well, the high priest sprinkles blood all around the sides of the Ark of the Covenant, and so the Ark is the ovum figure, because in real life, sperm, rather than blood, a sperm has, each sperm cell has a figure-like tail, and it propels itself to the ovum and encircles the ovum. Now, in Yom Kippur, blood is used rather than sperm, and there is no tail. Blood has no tail, so it can't travel by itself to the ovum figure, which is the box, the Ark of the Covenant. So it's got to be sprinkled by the finger of the high priest. Now the sperm is released on this side of the cervix, and it travels through the cervix into the womb, the uterus. Now, with the blood, it has to be carried into the uterus figure, which is the Holy of Holies, and then it's sprinkled, like I say, with the finger. How is the Ark of the Covenant like the ovum? Well, the ovum is a bundle of genes, which are instructions for the building of the body of the offspring. Likewise, the Ark of the Covenant, which contains the Ten Commandments, they are instructions for how we should live. They're instructions for building the organism called human society. So you can make a case for the Ten Commandments being the DNA or the chromosomes needed for society, which is the offspring, so to speak. Each generation is a new offspring. Okay, we have the sprinkling of the blood as a crude representation of fertilization. What comes next? Gestation and pregnancy. Now, where are the figures that depict the fetal stages of development? Well, on the left and right sides of the mercy seat, which is the lid of the ark, there are two cherubs. Each cherub is a four-part compound figure or composite figure. Bird and calf and lion and man. Now, the bird can be thought of as representing the reptiles because that's what a bird is, an advanced reptile. The bull or calf represents mammals in general. The lion represents a particular class of mammals, the primates, because cats and primates are great tree climbers, and cats and monkeys or primates are tree shrews are the beginning of the monkeys and primates. Cats and the monkeys separated fairly recently, about 100 million years ago, and I read that somewhere. Now, that's relatively recent compared to several other separations of animals. Finally, man is the fourth figure within the four-part cherubs. Together, these four parts make up the four stages of fetal development. Reptiles come first, then mammals, then primates, and then man. Long story short, Yom Kippur and the interior of the temple make up, they tell the story of gestation and pregnancy, and now you know how much gestation and pregnancy and motherhood mean to God. This is the male-female secret of Yom Kippur. You can look up other videos under my name, Joe Grace. Actually, in this case, there are two last names, Grace and Grace. Joe Grace, all as one word, and I'll put a transcript in the description box under this video. I'm expecting Russia to bomb America very soon, And so I ask that you make paper copies of any of my videos that you want to save, because a Russian attack will destroy the grid, and destroy computers and so on. Now, the main thing that I want to stress is 5 months for the length of the tribulation, not 7 years like these young earth creationists would have you believe. They're totally wrong. Revelation 9, verse 5 and 10 does say 5 months. And Revelation 3, verse 12, no, verse 11, and chapter 22, verse 7 and 11, or 12, and verse 20. In those verses, Christ says, I come quickly. He means once the tribulation starts, he comes quickly from that starting point. And so 5 months would be quick, but 7 years would not be quick. June 26th is the date that I'm guessing. That'll be the date of Russian attack, June 26th. See, that's the anniversary of the legalization of gay marriage. I think God wants to ruin that date. He wants to tarnish that date. He wants to destroy that date.